Hola, ¿cómo estás? Today, as we head towards the end of our review, we're going to work with los verbos con cambio de raíz en el presente, otherwise known as stem-changing verbs in the present tense. You'll get the rules. You will see some sample verbs, be asked to conjugate a few other verbs for practice, and then asked to fill in some blanks at the end of the notes. Make sure you give yourself accurate information as we head towards the end of this review unit. The first things you need to know are the following. These verbs follow regular conjugation rules. A stem-changing verb that is an AR verb is a regular AR verb. You're going to use the endings o, as, a, amos, ais, an. A stem-changing verb that is an ER verb is a regular ER verb. You'll use the endings o, ace, a, amos, ace, en. And a stem-changing verb that is an IR verb is a regular IR verb. You will use the endings o, ace, a, emos, is, en. What you need to remember is that a vowel in the middle of the verb changes to something else, either one or two other vowels. Another thing you need to remember is that these verbs do not have this spelling change in the nosotros and vosotros conjugations in the present tense. Sometimes we call these verbs boot verbs, and you'll likely see why as we move forward with the notes. The first verbs you have listed are verbs you should know that change from e a ie, or e to ie. Make sure you write down the meanings of these verbs before conjugating the sample verb, and then moving on to conjugate empezar on your own. Cerrar means to close, empezar to begin, entender to understand, querer to want, perder to lose, and comenzar also means to begin. The verb that's conjugated here as a sample is querer, to want. You'll notice that the conjugations are quiero, quieres, quiere, queremos, queréis, and quieren, and that the letters that have that spelling change are in boldface. If on your sheet of paper you draw what looks like a kind of funky letter L around only the verb forms that have the spelling change, you'll see it looks a little bit like a boot, the shape of a boot more or less. If you are a visual learner, this can be helpful to you because the verbs inside of the boot have the spelling change, and the two verbs that remain outside of the boot, queremos and queréis, do not. Pause the video for a moment and give the verb empezar a try. Call me over if you'd like me to look at your work, and when you're ready, move on to the next set of notes. Now we have los verbos que cambian de e a I, or e to I. Some verbs that we use often here, and for which you should know the meaning, are repetir, to repeat, pedir, to ask for or to order, and servir, to serve. You'll notice once again that the letter that changes to something else is in boldface. The sample verb you have here is repetir. And once again, I recommend if you're a visual learner that you draw that boot around the forms that have the spelling change to help you remember that the verbs that are inside the boot change and the verbs that stay outside of the boot do not. So we have repito, repites, repite, repetimos, repetís, and repiten. You'll notice once again that the I is bold-faced for you. Once you're set with this, move on to the verb pedir. Call me over if you have questions. Once you're done with that, restart the video to finish up. We're going to end our notes with verbs that either change from o a ue, or u a ue, o to ue, or u to ue. Verbs that we use often here are dormir, to sleep, jugar, to play sports or games, which is the only verb that changes from u to ue, poder, to be able to, or almorzar, to eat lunch. Take down the notes for the verb poder, and once again, remember to draw the boot if you feel it will be helpful to you. You have 4 forms that do change and 2 that do not. The conjugations of poder, puedo, puedes, puede, podemos, podes, and pueden. Once you are all set, conjugate the verb jugar and move on to complete the 10 fill-in-the-blank questions at the bottom of Página 3. Call me over to check your work when you're done. Muchas gracias.